Your experience that Jackal speaking people change or learn when you speak Giraffe to them?
Is it my experience that they change when I speak Giraffe? At the moment that I put on these ears, they're already changed. Because as I say, when I have these ears on, the other person is automatically a giraffe-speaking person. Because all I hear coming from them is feelings and needs. But I think I know that what you're getting at, and the answer would be yes to that. It amazes me how we keep speaking giraffe ourselves, the other person joins us, unless they hear a demand. We're going to be talking about demands in a few moments. See, in giraffe, we always end on a very clear statement of what we want. But now, a giraffe is very clear about the difference between a request and a demand. But jackals get these all mixed up. So I was in Zurich, Switzerland about 6 months ago and doing a weekend workshop. And on Sunday, the woman at whose house I was staying had a van, and so we were going to pick up 3 other women en route to the workshop. To the first evening, and they had said to their husband, "Oh, I've been exposed to this wonderful process, and I would really like you to join me in it." And it was amazing how each of the husbands responded in the same way. You know, "I don't have any problems communicating. You're the one that needs that, not me." Something like that. Well, you see, the problem was these jackal husbands, instead of hearing the excitement and to hear their wives requesting that they join them in this new thing, they heard a demand. And when jackals, or anybody, hear a demand, they see their choices as submission or rebellion. So that day in the workshop, we had to learn how to help their jackals hear this as a request, so that then they could make a choice about whether they wanted to engage in this kind of learning, and not that they feel they had to. So while we're on that topic, let me make clear for you all the difference between a giraffe request and a jackal demand. I think giraffe is a natural way for human beings to communicate. Now, when I was learning giraffe, I kept saying to myself, this isn't a natural way for people to talk. And just at the right moment, I read something that Gandhi said. Gandhi said, "Don't mix up that which is habitual with that which is natural." So yeah, that made sense to me. Certainly, it wasn't habitual for me to speak giraffe. But Gandhi says, natural is that which you gravitate to spiritually. It feels right to you, and you're willing to do a lot of practice, a lot of work, because you see the work is in the harmony of your own values. So I really do believe that giraffe is much closer to the spiritual basis of people. And they feel that talking in this way makes more sense, intuitively, to talk just about what they feel and what they need, in spite of the fact that they may have to do a lot of practice, in spite of the fact that for a while, until we learn how to use these ears, it can be kind of scary, because it requires being open and honest in a pretty vulnerable way. And we know that until the other people do join us, we're likely to hear a lot of things coming back that we're going to need these ears on. A woman in Stockholm, she was in a 3-day training with me, and at the end of the 3 days, she said, "You know, Marshall, I can see this working in my business, but I can't imagine doing it with my father. He is a jackal's jackal. No, he's never had a friend in his life for more than a month or 2. He has 5 children, none of us can talk to him. He's had 2 wives, neither of whom could talk to him. I could never imagine talking to him this way." About 6 months later, I returned to Stockholm, and this woman greeted me at another workshop, and she said, "Marshall, do you remember at the end of the previous workshop I told you how I could never do this with my father. I said, no, I don't. I hear that from a lot of people. So, I can't remember. She says, anyway, I don't know what possessed me, but I went home, and he greeted me at the door and said, another workshop, wasting your money on another one of those things? And she said, Marshall, before the workshop, I would have said, but Father, I'm 50 years old. I can spend my money as I want to. And then we would have an argument for sure. And this time I stopped and I put on my ears and I said, Dad, are you worried because you want to be sure that I'm saving enough money to protect myself? And she said, Marshall, within a few moments, he was opening up and letting me see a soft side of himself that I never thought I was going to see in this lifetime. And since then, my brothers and sisters have been saying to me, what are you doing with him? We've never seen him respond this way. The magic of giraffe ears. The other person will join me. Maybe not that rapidly all the time.